Hello, everybody. This is week 6, trying it again. So I had a lot of trouble with my voice. I'm still kind of hoarse, so I apologize. But I want to go over this again because people got some things a little bit confused. This is week 6. This is module 6, behavior change and applied behavior analysis, part 1. So we're talking about behavior reduction, but we're really talking about behavior replacement. So behavior reduction is what it says on the hospital documents and on the BACB task list. But what we're really talking about is behavior replacement. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So our key terms are the behavior plan, the common functions of behavior, and antecedents. So again, there are only 4 major categorical functions of behavior. Those are attention, escape, tangible to get an item, and automatic reinforcement, meaning that it's not socially mediated. And we do it because it feels good or to meet some other internal need. But it doesn't require interactions with other people. Excuse me. So we can get combinatorial functions like attention plus escape or escape plus tangible. Sometimes there are multiple reasons why people do things. In fact, that's often the case. So behavior plan, this document has several variations in its name, depending on what environment and what profession you work in. It could be called the behavior reduction plan, behavior intervention plan, behavior support plan, behavior change plan. But they all have several key components. So you have the behavior replacement or reduction plan with your proactive and reactive strategies, crisis plan, plans to teach them skills, skill acquisition plan, results from your functional assessment, an ethics statement, goals and exit criteria. And then there's some examples that I have uploaded for you. So you take a look at my plan. If you don't understand everything, that's cool. But just you understand the basis of how it's set up. So then we have an antecedent. This is a stimuli that is present just before the onset of behavior. So this happens right before the behavior, or sometimes a long time before the behavior. This is my friends at PsychoPros, another great video. Take a look at that when you get a chance. So this is what I really wanted to hammer, motivating operations. Some people get a little bit confused on this, and this can be a little bit confusing. So this does a couple of different things. This is how behavior analysts refer to and conceptualize motivation. So it's a stimulus that gives added value to a reinforcer. So it makes a reinforcer more reinforcing. And it also increases the likelihood of that behavior that's associated with that reinforcer. So deprivation is often associated with a motivating operation. So think about the guy who's lost in the desert. He's really, really thirsty for that glass of water because he hasn't had it for a long time. So that water is more reinforcing than it would be normally. So take the flip side of that. If he's already drank a bunch of water, he's not as motivated to drink that glass of water. It doesn't mean as much to him. So this can also mean more in social context. So the example I often give is going to the movies. That's fun for me. That's a reinforcer. I like going to the movies. But if my wife goes with me, it's even more fun, and it makes that experience more valuable. So it makes going to the movies more reinforcing. So this is our modern or advanced ABC contingency. So we have our antecedents and our establishing operations or motivating operations in effect. And then our consequences that take place after the behavior. So, and again, we can intervene here and here to change what's in the middle. So we're going to talk about this more in the next video, differential reinforcement. But I just want to expose this to you here really quickly. It's another great video. A couple more, so you get some different perspectives. So then we have an SD. The descriptive stimuli, or SD, is a prompt that indicates that reinforcement is available. So there's a great explanation. So, but an SD is essentially a prompt to get them to do what I want them to do, and then it will result in reinforcement. So again, we're going to talk about more about this next week. We get into differential reinforcement heavily. So again, post number 6, chapters 10 and 11. These are your BDS areas. So this is week 6. So we'll talk about week 7 here in just a couple of minutes.